All right, if you're in machine learning, you definitely know this feeling. You've poured weeks, maybe even months, into building this perfect model. It's your masterpiece. But then, the hard part hits, actually getting it into production. So today, let's talk about how we solve that.
So there it is. You've got this incredible, groundbreaking model. But now what? How do you get it out into the real world where people can actually use it? More importantly, how do you make it fast, reliable, and able to scale up when things get busy? That's really the big question we're going to tackle today.
But before we jump into the solution, we gotta really get a handle on the problem. In the world of machine learning, there's often this huge, invisible wall between your brilliant model sitting on a laptop and a real production-ready application. And look, this isn't just one single roadblock. It's more like a whole series of them. You're trying to get these lightning-fast responses, right? Low latency is key, and you need to handle tons of traffic. And what about modern AI? It's not just one model anymore. It's often a complex pipeline of models and business logic working together. Then you have to figure out how to scale all of that across multiple machines, multiple GPUs, and how to use those super expensive GPUs efficiently, especially for these gigantic new models. It's a massive engineering headache. Okay, so this is where the story gets interesting. To get over that production wall, the good news is you don't have to be some kind of DevOps wizard. You just need the right tool for the job. And that tool is RayServe. So what is RayServe exactly? Well, to put it simply, it's a library that lets you take your Python models and, almost like magic, turn them into scalable production-grade APIs. It's built on a powerful framework called Ray, and its real superpower is just making this whole complex world of model serving way, way simpler for folks like us, the developers. And this is the absolute magic of it. The very same Python code you write and test on your laptop can be deployed to a massive cluster in the cloud. You don't have to rewrite it. You don't start from scratch. I mean, think about that. That is a huge deal when you want to move fast and iterate.
Okay, so you might be thinking, sure, it helps me deploy, but there are other tools for that, right? And you're right. So what really makes RayServe stand out from the crowd? Let's break down why it's so special.
You know, a lot of traditional servers, they're pretty rigid. They expect a simple flow. Data comes in, a prediction goes out, and it's usually just for a single model. RayServe, on the other hand, is built for the complexity we see in modern AI. It lets you build these flexible pipelines, chain multiple models together with your business logic, and it handles all the tricky auto-scaling stuff for you. But the most crucial part? It's Python first. And this is the game changer. It means the machine learning engineers, the people who live and breathe Python, can own the whole process from start to finish. That drastically cuts down on the friction of handing things off to a separate DevOps team. All right, that all sounds great, but how does it actually work under the hood? It's not magic, I promise. Let's pull back the curtain and look at a few simple but really powerful concepts that make RayServe tick. So the first thing you need to know about is the deployment. Just think of it as a little box, a container for your code. It's just a regular Python class where you load your model or write your logic. Then you add this simple little decorator on top, at serve.deployment. And boom, RayServe instantly knows how to manage it, scale it, and serve traffic to it. Okay, but one single deployment isn't going to cut it for real-world traffic, right? That's where replicas enter the picture. A replica is just a live, running copy of your deployment. When you need more power to handle more users, RayServe just spins up more replicas across all your machines. And that, right there, is the secret sauce to its scaling. It's really that simple. And then there's the glue that holds this whole thing together, the deployment handle. It's basically an object that lets one of your deployments talk to another one, just like you're calling a simple Python function. Super easy. This is what lets you chain all those different pieces together to build those powerful, complex pipelines we were talking about. So let's see how this all fits together to build a real workflow. A request comes into your first deployment. That deployment then uses its handle to call a second deployment that cleans up the data. That one then calls your main model to make the prediction, which in turn calls a final deployment to format the result before sending it back. See? Each step is its own separate scalable service, all connected together seamlessly. Okay, so we've got the concepts down. We see how it works, but where does this thing really shine? Let's get into the top use cases, where RayServe is an absolute game changer. Well, for starters, it's an absolute beast for serving today's massive large language models, especially with cool features like streaming responses back to the user. It's the perfect tool for those multi-model pipelines we just designed. But it's also fantastic for your standard real-time APIs. And this is a big one.
It's great for those times you need to mix in some regular business logic, like grabbing data from a database, right alongside your model.
And really, it all comes down to one simple, beautiful idea. It's just Python. I mean, think about it. The code is written in the language your team already knows and loves. There's no complex new framework to learn, no weird configuration files. The barrier to entry? It's practically zero. This empowers the people who build the models to actually deploy them too.
Whew, okay, we've covered a lot here. So let's kind of boil this all down, right? Let's distill this into the key things you absolutely need to remember. What does this all mean for you and your team?
Let's walk through why this matters to you. First up, composability. The advantage for you, you can build those really complex, multi-step workflows that modern AI demands. Next, scalability. This means you can handle real production traffic, no problem, because it auto-scales for you. Then there's the fact that it's Python native. The huge advantage here is your ML team can now deploy their own models without needing deep DevOps expertise. And finally, resource efficiency. This one's big. You can actually lower your cloud costs by smartly sharing expensive GPUs between different models. Every single one of these features gives you a real, practical advantage. So if there's just one thing you take away from all this, let it be this sentence. RayServe is the bridge. It's the scalable, developer-friendly bridge that takes you from the world of complex model development straight to the world of production-grade performance. So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. As AI models get more and more complex and more integrated into everything we do, the demands on your infrastructure are only going to get bigger. So take a look at what you're using right now. Is it just a simple endpoint, or is it a flexible, scalable foundation that's actually ready for the future of AI?